What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media outside of Gillette Stadium as the Patriots get ready to take on the Miami Dolphins this weekend. A reminder, we're powered by Prize Picks and Game Time. Head over to Prize Picks, use code CLNS for $50 when you play $5, and head over to Game Time for $20 off your first purchase. All right, Taylor, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room. Is there an issue right now with the Patriots locker room? Now, Jerod Mayo poured some cold water on that this morning when asked about it and said he doesn't know of anything, said that the comments made yesterday, that's journalism, and they're going to move forward, and said that he has an open-door policy about issues in his locker room if players have problems with what's going on, etc. Now, Jacoby Brissett not playing great. Drake May waiting in the wings. Patriots 1-3 heading into this weekend against Miami Dolphins team that, frankly, they're better than. Miami missing their quarterback, 1-3, the only offense that's worse than the Patriots through 4 games. So, do you think there is a chance that this Patriots team, locker room setting, relationship with coaching staff and Mayo, do you think there's a chance that things do fall apart if they don't win this game this Sunday?
I think it'd be disingenuous to say that everything is fine, right? Yeah. Like you had Demario Douglas, for example. He was upset about not getting targeted a few weeks ago, made comments to the media, then kind of walked back a little bit. Then this last game, his body language was poor, and once again, he apologized. But you're thinking, okay, but this is the second time now.
Right.
There was, a very clear that you weren't happy with the situation. Jelani Tavai was on the radio this morning, I believe, with the Greg Hill show, when he was asked about whether Jacoby Brissett was their quarterback, and basically was given a softball to endorse Jacoby, right, and kind of just put a little bit of a blanket on this fire. He tripped on his words, and he really didn't commit. Then you have Devon Godshaw saying that, yeah, players are playing selfish. And look, there's no one way to lead. And I think Jerod Mayo, his policy of players being open, like these are the slippery slopes that happen when you are a losing team, where lines get drawn, and at some point, like, yeah, everyone loves Mayo. They've seen him come up. There's a lot of respect for him. And it's not the Bill Belichick system where we keep every single thing in-house. Now, to be fair, Belichick's system clearly wasn't working either, because we know there was a ton of reports where there was toxicity among the coaching staff in the front office. Players weren't happy. Like, I want to be very clear that this is not strictly a Jerod Mayo thing. Like, the Patriots needed a change when he was hired, but at the same time, these struggles now, we're seeing that I think the buy-in is starting to chip away a little bit. And we've been saying this for a couple weeks now, that if they continue to lose, this might happen. Now, I think if they win this weekend, maybe you get a little more goodwill heading into a Texans game that everybody knows is going to be tough. Really, that's really the one really tough matchup you have before another slate of pretty winnable games, at least at this point in the season from our perspective. But yeah, I mean, if they continue to lose and do lose against Miami, I do think we're going to see players start to continue to voice their frustration. Maybe behind the scenes you do see a little bit of lost morale from the team. But yeah, I don't want to say that we're at like DEFCON 5. I really don't think, we know the word that was used.
Sure.
I don't think it's quite that serious, but I do think that there is a certain level of cognizance we have to have over how much Mayo still has full faith from his team.
This week against Miami, like I said before, is incredibly important. A winnable game heading into then a Texans week with the elephant in the room, the quarterback waiting in the wings. Now, I think these locker room hiccups, if you will, they happen all across the league, right?
Yep.
We're just not used to it around here from a media perspective because we had the umbrella of Bill Belichick for so long.
Players were terrified to speak,
exactly.
Literally.
You speak for yourself. You don't speak about anybody else. You direct things to the head coach. But Jerod Mayo has a different, mentality and, mentality. Let me fix that. Jerod Mayo has a different mentality and philosophy around that. And so when players are going to go out and speak, I feel like they think they can open up a little bit. Then you have, like you mentioned, Tavai this morning, not really backing Jacoby Brissett, saying that, we just got to focus on the defense and we're not worried about everything else, which I guess in a way is a Belichick philosophy, saying I'm just going to focus on myself. But again, still a lobbed up softball, I guess, for him to hit.
No, and to that point, players are still saying you got to look yourself in the mirror. That's clearly one of their slogans, that you got to make sure that you're being better before you criticize anyone else. And we're already seeing, like you said, around the league, there are teams that are openly speaking out about, they're doing their job, the other side of the ball isn't doing theirs. They're actually calling people out. The Patriots haven't gotten to that point yet, but even last year we saw towards the end, players like Adrian Phillips said, I guess we have to allow 0 points. Devon Godshaw was also vocal about the fact that the defense was trying its best and, they were hanging in, and you started to get those very vague hints that they were not totally happy with the offensive performance. So I do want to make it very clear that, we still saw some of this last season, and now we knew this was going to be a tough rebuild, but it's one thing to know that heading in, and it's another to be a player and for every week to continue to lose games. So they're not throwing each other under the bus necessarily. I think calling the people out for being selfish, he didn't name names, and I think that's the line you're hoping they don't cross. But again, It's not great, obviously, in the locker room right now, but they still are not at the point where I think we've seen multiple other teams right now at only 4 weeks into the season.
Big week with Drake May waiting in the wings. Jacoby Brissett's fifth start under center for the Patriots. We'll see if they can change the tide and if they can beat Miami this week, or if things start to escalate even further if they get another loss.
Make sure to subscribe to Patriots Press Pass for all your Patriots news and updates on YouTube. And for all our written work, make sure you check out clnsmedia.com.